Um, Anyone else in the NFC doesn't scare me, but
Yeah.
I know for sure that they have the capability to beat everybody on the AFC side of the bracket.
Yeah. And I mean, my running joke is, hey, has Lamar Jackson ever attempted a forward pass? But he threw that one ball in the Chargers game that basically sealed the game. That
Mark
was
Andrews.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, that 68-yard touchdown. That was the
Yeah.
best pass of his career so far.
Yeah.
I say that without shame because I'm not a big Lamar Jackson guy. Since the day we drafted him, I've been like, nope, I want to see him pass consistently. I want to see him work on his ball security, things like that. And it hasn't gotten much better. I mean, 58% completion percentage for the year. It's not great. He's got 12 fumbles. These are things that obviously he needs to work on. The thing that I think is good is he's kind of been there, done that. He's been on the big stage before, obviously not in the NFL. But nothing ever seems too big for this kid. So I like his poise. I like his leadership ability, and that'll go far as far as his first playoff game.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to – the stage isn't too big for him. I think he'll be fine this year, but then next year maybe he might face a potential sophomore slump. Maybe they'll figure out how to try to stop him or something like that. But
you got to learn to pass at some point, right? I mean,
right? You can't just run the entire time. But man, I'm just so jealous. I wish the Ravens and the Steelers would have made it because it's just so. But and when the Steelers lost and when it was all said and done after the games, I just tweeted. I said, "Good luck, Ravens. Hope you go far." And Steeler fans wanted to kill me. Like, I view the Ravens with respect. It's like, they're very similar, and he's like, okay, we beat the crap out of each other. The best team wins. This time you guys won. Like, okay, hey, good luck. Like, I would never say good luck to the Patriots. I mean, they could all go to hell. But like, I don't know. I think it's like when Rocky and Apollo Creed fought. Like, you may the best man win, and okay, that's it.
So I saw there was a Steelers fan on Facebook, and he said something along the lines of, since we didn't make it, I'm pulling for the Ravens, represent the AFC North.
Yeah.
And here's, like, I get it. I do. But my instant response, here's what I said to him. I said, we're going to go ahead and represent Baltimore.
Oh! Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people in Baltimore that say, wow, I really respect the Steelers. Good luck. It's like, no, I think you hate our freaking Jets.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally understandable.
I respect how the rivalry is, and here's what I mean by that. So I respect the fact that, like, it's football and it's physical and we just want to beat the hell out of each other. And it all started with the whole Shannon Sharp thing, and like it's moved on from there. There's been guys on each side of the ball that have kept it going throughout the generations. Yeah. I respect the rivalry insofar that I'm glad it's not a rivalry like Steelers-Bengals. I'm glad it's not dirty, people trying to kill each other, that type of thing. I like that it's football, like it's old school, like beat 'em up football, like Bears Packers back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I played corner and I grew up on the old model of football, so I'm a little bit more biased to the whole ground and pound, smash mouth defense thing, and that kind of exemplifies what Pittsburgh versus Baltimore is. It started with ground and pound, smash mouth football, and even in today's high octane offenses, a lot of the times, man, it's been Le'Veon Bell and whoever the hell Alex Collins or whoever the hell we had as a running back. And it's been defense versus defense. It's been the way it's always been, which has been nice. So that's how I respect, the rivalry. But other than that, I hate Pittsburgh.
No, totally understandable. That's nothing wrong with a little good, healthy hate.
Yeah, exactly. So I was raised, man.
Yeah. Oh no, believe me, I'm not like, oh, I'm so happy for them. I'm like, oh crap,
Yeah.
I'm at the acceptance stage of grief. Okay, I've gone through my anger and denial and all that crap. I think it was the Chargers game when the Steelers lost to the Chargers that I took the hardest, because it's like, and I think I sent out a tweet saying, "Congrats Ravens, you won the AFC North," and I got a lot of crap for that too. But it's like, you kind of saw how it was going. It's like you couldn't slip up. And then when they didn't beat the Saints, that was like the nail in the coffin. It's like, really? We have to depend on the Browns to beat the Ravens in Baltimore, and hell, they almost freaking did it.
I tell you what, man, when you guys beat the Patriots, I was like, boy, that's it. I'm like, now we need like help from other teams. And then when you guys lost to the Saints, and my old lady's a Saints fan, so I was watching the game here, and boy, I thought the neighbors were going to call the cops on me, man. I was screaming and yelling, and I was like, yeah! She's like, oh, see, you do like the Saints. I'm like, no, I don't like the Saints. I like the Saints right now. That's exactly. It. Only time. Right now.
All right, sir. At Chibs RSR on Twitter, writer for Russell Street Report, host of Neutral Zone Infraction podcast and Sober Thoughts Radio. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad I could come back on again.
Chargers and Ravens meet again in the Wild Card weekend. With me to talk about it is Jesse Reeves. He is at Jesse Reeves FF on Twitter. He is a contributor for FF Statistics, always hard for me to say, and host of the Youth Movement podcast. Jesse, welcome back.
What is going on, Joey? Happy to be back here.
Thank you. So the last time we talked, we need to talk about this, was before the Steelers-Chargers game. And that turned out to be a really good game, and it's one that they're still talking about in Pittsburgh. They're trying to wonder why they didn't make the playoffs, and people are blaming the refs. And there was one play in that game that basically they say determined the game, but anyway, that was a very good game.
Yeah, it was. As a Chargers fan, it was very fun to watch. I knew it was going to be difficult trying to march into Pittsburgh and to win a game there. It's very, very, very hard game. Very, very hard place to play, I should say. And football in December is always tough, no matter what. I believe the Chargers were 8-3 going in. They were trying to lock up or trying to continue their run for the playoffs, and I knew it was going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, and I laugh when people say it was the refs' fault, because so many things happened in that game. The Steelers, they dominated early. I believe the score was like 23-6 or something like that, or something. They had a big lead early, and then in the second half they just fell apart, and the Chargers offense just lit them up, and the Steelers defense had no answer.
Yeah, it was definitely first half dominance by the Steelers. The score, what you were correct, it was 23-7. And I think that the Chargers came out, they made second half adjustments, and they went out. I know the goal as opening that second half was going to be to stop Big Ben and the AB connection. I believe AB had at least one touchdown up to that point, and they were just connecting really well. After that, coming out in the second half, the Chargers put on a good defensive show, stopped them, and took up a lot of the third quarter to go down and have a scoring drive, which to be fair, was actually a pretty fluky scoring drive. I believe Joe Hayden or maybe not Joe Hayden, I can't remember.
No, yeah, Joe Hayden was about to intercept the ball in the end zone, and his own guy, Sean Davis, knocked the ball out of his hands, and I think kind of almost knocked out Joe Hayden. So that was an extremely fluky play, and then the ball just bounced up right into the Chargers receiver's hands.
Yeah, that was definitely a big play of the game. I feel at that point that even it was a little bit of luck, but that was kind of what the Chargers needed at that point to start to get things really going. And it it did. It was Keenan Allen on the touchdown reception, and although it was fluky, it almost seemed like it was meant to be. He was in the right place at the right time. It was almost like it was just meant to happen at that point. Very fluky, but that's at that point you kind of started to notice that things were starting to swing the Chargers' way. As I believe they went up, they pulled a 2-point conversion right after that and went in, had to the next drive at 15-23 or down 15-23 to the Steelers, and after that. Continuing to try and put pressure on Ben, a couple big sacks kind of put you guys at in punting position, and then directly after that, I believe, was the Desmond King punt return to come and tie the game. And that I know a lot of people were talking about a block in the back.
Yep.
A block in the back. I know that was a very big topic on Steelers Twitter, as especially I have a lot of going on my Twitter feed, but a couple Steelers or irate Steelers fans at that time, and they were talking about the block in the back. Granted, at that time we're sitting in the fourth quarter and it's a tie game. I want to say, if I remember correctly, there was another defensive stop. The Chargers did a good job on defense in the second half of just putting a halt to your guys' high-powered offense. I believe also James Conner went down late in the game. That put a little bit of a damper on your guys' game plan. And the Chargers ended up coming back, and they ended up scoring the Justin Jackson touchdown to put them up, I believe, if I remember correctly. And at that point, it was just who was gonna get the ball last in the game. And it ended up swinging in the Chargers' way.
Didn't the Chargers have like a late drive and kicked a field goal to win it or something like that? I think it was tied at 30-30, and then they kicked the field goal.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
And that's the thing. You know, Steelers fans blame the ref for this play or that play. The ref didn't have a linebacker trying to cover Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen had like 14 catches that game. The ref didn't have didn't cause the Steelers defense to completely just crap out and have Phillip Rivers drive down the field at will. So this it's just an excuse. It doesn't help, but that's not the reason why the Steelers lost that game.
No, I totally agree. And being fans of your favorite team, you want to point to many different things that didn't go your way. And more often than not, when your team loses, you try to blame it on something. And I get it. I do it sometimes too. But in the end, you have to look at all the events that happened, and you have to be able to digest the fact that your team wasn't able to capitalize on moments that they should have for the most part. We're coming off of a loss to Baltimore a couple weeks ago, and I would like to say, they missed a couple calls, the refs missed a couple calls, but what didn't the Chargers do to capitalize on specific situations that didn't get them the win? It's easy, and fans tend to want to sway that way when talking about a really tough loss. Granted, there was some really bad calls on both sides of the ball during that Steelers-Chargers game, but definitely not the reason that they lost. I think the Chargers just overpowered them in the second half. They really got some lucky swings, and they were able to capitalize for the most part.
So about the Chargers and the Ravens now, they only played, 2 weeks ago?
Yes, week 16, so 2 weeks ago.
And the thing about the Ravens is, and that basically one of the things that got the Ravens in the playoffs over the Steelers and got them to win the AFC North was they were able to beat the Chargers and the Steelers weren't. But the thing that's so intriguing, and when you look at that game, you think, wow, the Ravens really, really dominated that game, and they really took it to them, and it really wasn't. I mean, it was actually pretty close. What do you think about that first game against the Ravens?
So my first thought about that game is it was the second straight game Phillip Rivers had opened up the game with an interception. That's always a red flag to me when he's constantly looking for the big play to open a game, and that's the type of offense that that they have. They're constantly looking for the big play. They have really big play receivers. And we did not start that game the way that